Hey guys, this is Ridwan Johari. I play drums for Resurrect and Goose, currently endorsing Pantene Percussion, Los Cabos drumsticks, and also Istanbul Mehmet cymbals. If you guys are unsure of what gear to buy for yourself, then this video is definitely for you.
Okay, I started drumming at the age of 14. I was from a CCA that requires me to fix up radio control toy cars, and then my friend told me that it's a bit lame lah for the CCA. Sorry to those people that plays toy cars. Yeah, and then he put me into the concert band where they needed a drummer in the percussion section. So he taught me a few basic beats, and ever since then, I was hooked to the drums lah. So until now, so 14. So it's been 16 years since I've been playing drums. Yeah. I think I bought it from Carousel, if I'm not wrong. It was a Tama entry-level drum kit. Yeah, 5-piece Tama drum kit, and with like battered heads and everything. So, but it was good enough for me at the point of time. So yeah, I bought it on Carousel. It was definitely an issue for me in the beginning because I didn't know what to look out for. I didn't know how to differentiate between the different notes on the different lugs. So if I were to tune one lug at a specific note, when I go to the next lug, I couldn't tell what's the difference. Then I ended up butchering the entire sound of the snare. So as every other technique or drum rudiment or feel, you need to practice it. Same for drum tuning. So I had to put in a bit of time and to tune to get a good sound, and then I can safely say I can get a good sound as of now. It's not the perfect sound, but it's good enough for me. In Singapore, not so much, but I've experienced a few terrible sounding kits when I was playing overseas. Especially, there was a show that I remember clearly. It was in Indonesia. It was in Medan, I think. So the drum kit was very battered up. It had a lot of tape on it, and it didn't sound like a drum kit when I was hitting it. So to me, it kind of ruined the feeling of enjoyment of hitting the drums lah. But at the same time, because the crowd response was so good, I didn't care much about the drums at that point of time. And funny thing was, the drum stool was actually a bar stool that was very high, but they hacksaw it into half just to fit the drum set, and I got long legs, so it was very hard for me to play on it. There's a few things. Number one, be sound, because it needs to get a good sound out of it. Number two is the price, because I am not rich. And all of us have a budget constraint. So it needs to be of value of money. Like, it needs to not be so expensive. At the same time, the sound needs to be pleasing enough for my ears. Number three is the visuals. It needs to look good in a way. Because if it doesn't look good, I might not want to be playing on it. Yeah, it's just how I view the factors of a drum kit. Maybe it differs to some other people, but for me, the sound, the pricing, and the visual aspect of it. For the drum kit, there's a lot of shops in Singapore that carries drum kits and that can cater to your budget, that can cater to your range of budgets. So you can go to places like Singapore Drum Shop, 16-beat drums, Yamaha, and even Swilly. So if you are on a limited budget, they have drum kits that cater to you. If you're a baller with no budget, they also have drum sets that cater to your needs also. Any drum kit that makes the beginner practice. Yeah. Be it if the sound is good, it makes you practice, then get it. If the visual is good and it makes you practice, then get it. If the price is good and it makes you practice, then get it. So I feel that as long as it makes the person practice, to me is good enough. Okay, it's definitely different because of the response and the feel. If you play an acoustic kit, you know that when you hit it, you got a certain response and certain air that's coming back to you when you're hitting an acoustic kit. But for an electronic kit, no matter how much they modify it, you cannot achieve that same feeling back. Of course, the sound, we can always manipulate it to get the same sound as an acoustic kit. But feel and response is kind of hard to imitate it. Yeah, so that's my opinion on it. I personally like to play on a Roland drum kit, so I would recommend getting it from Swilly. But there's also other shops that carries electronic kit, specifically being Singapore Drum Shop Yamaha. So because they also have a range of electronic kits that cater to your budget. Okay, I prefer using DRUMKITs, especially the controlled sound and the power stroke, because it has a dampener inside lah, so it controls the overtone a bit, and I like my snare sound to be slightly drier than usual, so I prefer using those. For tom wise, I use the Remo Clear Ambassadors on the toms. For the kick drum, I prefer using a power stroke. So like I said, I like to use a lot of Remo. I get my Remo heads from Swilly or 16-bit drum shops, and in the past I used to use a bit of Evans lah, so I will get my Evans from Ranking or even Yamaha. Yeah. Okay, so normally I don't really change out my drum skins that often unless it is broken. Yeah, so that's what I do. Or usually if I'm experimenting different hits, then I will try to change it. But most of the time it stays with me until it breaks. So yeah. My opinion on a different drum hit is, I feel that it boils down to sometimes what your favorite drummers are using. So let's say for example, if you like Luke Holland and you know he uses Remo, right, you might want to try, oh, my favorite drummer uses these skins, so I might want to try that drum hit. And then if you like that drum hit, naturally you will feel that it will be your favorite drum hit and you will stick to that, unless you don't have like a biased opinion on drum hits in general. So you are the kind that you like to experiment and you try every different hits, right? And then from there you get into the details of, okay, how does this hit sounds like, how does that hit sounds like. But to me personally, it's all almost sound the same. It's all about like whether is it durable enough for you, or is that the sound that you kind of want. Because at the end of the day, it's just drum hits. If you get into the nitty gritty of the gear, right, it makes you lose focus on what you're supposed to do, which is actually practicing and playing.
Yes.
If you're a beginner drummer, most likely you will not really know the difference between the certain cymbals until you kind of do your research, or you see other drummers play, or what your friends recommend to you, and then from then on you can make your judgments. But I feel that for beginner drummers, everything will sound the same to you for sure, because it's just loud. To your ears, there's only one adjective, loud. Until you learn more about your instrument, until you listen to a lot of music, you watch a lot of drum videos, you have your favorite drummers playing certain cymbals, then from there you can make the judgment as to what you feel is best for you. Or if you play in a band, what kind of cymbal sound will fit the band? It's actually quite subjective lah. Yeah, some people might like the cymbal because it looks pretty. So like maybe for a beginner cymbals, you feel that, oh, this cymbal looks very pretty. When I hit it, it sounds pretty to me also. Then they might buy it. But some other drummers might find the same cymbal, like they don't like the prettiness of it. They want very dirty, like very dry, very like brownish kind of cymbals. So different people have a different perspective on the cymbal sounds, I guess.
Okay.
I play mainly rock, pop, rock, metal, but oddly enough, I don't like my cymbals to be very bright. Even though sometimes in rock and metal you want the cymbals to cut, so you need a brighter cymbal, right? But for me, I like my cymbals to be a bit darker and a bit drier. So usually my cymbal choice is very dry and very dark, but not too dry to the point that it cannot cut through. Yeah, so that's my take on my cymbals. And how do I set my cymbal? Okay, so usually my main crash, which is on my left side, would be the louder one, because I want that as an accent, so I'll always put it on my left side as my main crash. My right side will be the ones that is washy enough for choruses, so that I can just whack on it. And it has to be a durable one, because most of the time my right hand is going to be over there, so it needs to be more durable. For a metal band direction, or in a metal band setting, I have a China on my right, because who doesn't love Chinas? And I will have a stack also on my right hand side near the China, yeah, for some accents. So that's my setup. Okay, so I mainly use Istanbul Mehmet cymbals. So I will get them from Drum Resources, which is under Nigel. And I recommend other drummers to really research and find out what their sound is when getting cymbals. So you have shops like Singapore Drum Shop, Yamaha, Swilly, 16-bit drums. They carry like a whole range of cymbals. You can try them so that you can find out what's the best sounding cymbal for you to choose from. This definitely yes, because it's not that I have poor technique, it's just that I hit them too hard. Because I'm in a metal or rock metal band, right? So sometimes when you play, you get into the mood so much that you don't really realize you're hitting a cymbal so hard. And when you are taking wood and metal and you're hitting them each other quickly and for a long period of time, something is bound to break. Either a cymbal break or crack, or your drumsticks break. Yeah, so I have experienced a few times where my China cymbal breaks, especially because those are the cymbals that I always tend to hit a bit hard. I know sound engineers don't like it when I do that, but I'm so sorry. But yeah, I tend to hit China cymbals and stack too hard to the point that sometimes it breaks. Personally, I feel that hardware is actually the most important thing, because even if you have good drum heads or good sounding drums or toms or floor tom, right, without good hardware to support them, right, it's kind of pointless. So if your snare stand keeps breaking and your $5,000 snare just keeps dropping to the floor, I think your heart will ache a lot. So to support that $5,000 snare drum, $5,000 snare drum, a good hardware should be in place. So personally, I use Yamaha hardware, so I would recommend getting them from Yamaha, like Plaza Singapura or Plaza Singapura Beat Spot. So I started out with the Tama entry level pedal, which I'm not sure what the model is called, but yeah. And then I decided to upgrade to a Pearl Demon Drive, which I bought at Swilly, and I love that pedal so much. Then I went for an upgrade, so I changed to a Tama Speed Cobra, which I also bought at Swilly, a double pedal. And then finally I was using that for the longest time until I met my current wife, which she presented to me with a DW 9000 XF double pedal. Yeah, so Fina, if you are watching this, I love you. Yeah, so that's the current pedal that I'm using right now. This is a DW 9000 XF. So I'm currently a Penton Percussion artist. Penton Percussion is a Singapore born and bred drum company. So I'm using a Brass 14 by 6.5 lah. So if you guys want to get your own Singapore local taste snare drum, you can go to pentonpercussion.com, go to them to get your snare. Okay, this is purely my opinion on it. A bad drum pedal would be one that keeps squeaking a lot, or where the shaft breaks, or when the shaft gets damaged easily. And also if the spring gets loosened out very fast. Yeah, so I think that's a bad drum pedal. Okay, a good drum pedal for me is a good response lah. Even at slow tempos or fast tempos, anything that has good response, anything that is very user friendly to fix apart and tear down, especially at shows, I think that would be a very good drum pedal for me. Personally, I would recommend drum pedals from Yamaha, Pearl, Tama, which can be gotten at Swilly or Yamaha itself. And I feel that the price of the pedal itself is actually quite okay and quite value for money to buy, because as a beginner you don't have to spend so much on it first. You can lift that up to for upgrading lah. So once you are used to using some pedals, right, you feel that you might need an upgrade because you want to do certain things better, then you can go for an upgrade. If not, certain brands like Yamaha or Tama, for example, or Pearl, they carry a certain pedal where even at an entry level, right, it works best for you. So I would recommend those. Okay, so I have my own signature sticks from Los Cabos. So it's actually made of red hickory, which is supposed to be more durable than the normal white hickory that every company uses. Reason why I chose 5B is because I want it to be a bit thicker than a normal 5A or 7A, because my hands are quite big, so I needed a bit more thickness for me to grip on the sticks lah. And then the the length is a 16.5. So normally 5Bs are slightly shorter than that. So with the intense version, right, it's the same thickness but slightly longer. Okay, and it's a acorn tip also. So I kind of like the acorn tip lah. So yeah, so that's my signature sticks. Okay, so you can get these sticks at Music Elements. So you can check out their website. You can look for the 5B Rate Intense model. So for beginner drummers, I feel that they will be using a few sizes. Okay, so the first size is normally we will use a 5A because that's like the standard go-to size for everybody. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, and it's not too heavy or too light also. So it's like the perfect model for beginners. At the same time, those beginners that really want to train their techniques, I feel that they should be using heavier sticks for pad work to just increase maybe the strength or to increase their finger and wrist technique lah, so that they can have a bit more power when they play. So I would recommend the Ruff Hardiman Vic Firth marching sticks. Yeah, so that would be a good drumstick for them to use to really train on their wrist and finger. Okay, usually I will only change my drumstick when I see part of the sticks chipping off or when my whole stick breaks. I don't want to purchase, I don't want to spend so much money on sticks yet. So I will only replace my sticks once it's really broken up. Then I will change to a new pair of sticks. Okay, thank you to King George's Music Academy for having me. And if you guys are interested in learning music, you guys can come over here, or you guys can visit their website at www.kinggeorgesmusic.com. See you.